So, Marlys, we came out here to see all your mango varieties and how they did in the western part of the county. But what surprises me is how many other fruit trees you have out here. I just, on the way to your day avocado, I noticed a lot of different things that looked fruity, and I'm hoping that you'll be able to show us all of those. But, you know, having a day avocado, that shouts Marlys, because I know you love avocados and especially love day.
Well, always recommend a day avocado.
Yeah, it's a pretty tree and it doesn't go crazy, and the fruit are great.
And it's cold hardy. It's gotten down to 28, and this tree has never done anything but grow and be happy and produce avocados every year.
So can you show us around to the other fruit?
Sure. You want to see some more avocados, or you want to see the papayas and the guavas and the jujubes? There's a jujube tree down here.
Well, we want to see it all, but let's start with the jujube.
Here's some little fruit on the jujube. It'll be ready. They grow, and this tree produces like crazy. The jujube tastes like little apples, and you can eat them when they're green, or you can eat them when they get a little bit yellow. I like them better when they're green, but they'll get about, like that. Bigger than not as big as a golf ball, but bigger than a loquat. And they don't have anything. You just bite into them like an apple, and I don't ever spray this tree, so it's totally organic. I don't spray any of my trees.
It's a beautiful tree, too.
Yeah, it's very spreading, and you have to keep it cut back, and it's very prone to break off in the wind. But I love this tree. I'm so glad I have it. It's just hard to graft them.
And it looks from a distance like you have dead leaves, but it's just the underside that's a different color. So that's, I'm sure from the wind we had, that they're just
sort of like the Caimito looking.
Right, yeah. So, yeah, great.
And I always would take a lot of these cuttings to the nursery, but it's so hard to graft jujubes because the seeds and the seedlings are full of stickers. They're worse than a rose bush, and they're really hard to take.
Do they air layer? Or?
I might try air layer them since I have more time on my hand, because I am going to air layer some guava that I was able to get planted in here, and hopefully they're down there where they'll get plenty of water. But I've just planted them a couple.
So you got a few papaya here.
I've got papaya. I've got a couple in the house that have gotten ripe.
And you just cut them back to keep the fruit in range?
I cut them back for that reason, and also when the hurricane came, it was way up there, and I didn't want it blowing into the house, so I cut it back. And this is a dwarf, more of a dwarf one, supposedly, like that one. And they both have a good flavor, but I prefer these big ones, and I just cut them back and let them. I have had so many papayas here, you wouldn't believe it. And the seeds just drop and grow, and anyway. But see, I've got a bunch of orchids in this avocado tree. This is a day avocado, and I haven't cleaned up a whole lot from the hurricane. And I propped this limb up maybe a year ago, and look at the plumera has taken root, and it was just put there as a prop.
Yeah.
That happens. They grow so fast. But here's a different avocado. This one is a bacon avocado, and it's not very big, and it's green. And I may put something else on it. I'm not real happy with the bacon.
You like the day a lot.
I love the day. The day is my favorite avocado. That's the Florida Haas over there.
Does that produce well for you?
It produces quite well. It does, and I've got to get it cut. Look at where it's growing up into the power lines. I've had it cut before, but it's like mango trees. It doesn't take them long to get right back up there. I may just, I don't know what I'm going to do about it.
But you prefer the day over the Florida Haas?
I do. It comes in earlier, and it doesn't seem to be as prone to that scab that gets on the avocados. And out here where it's more humid,
Yeah,
the
that's a big
scab
deal.
is,
Yeah.
is pretty bad.
Another avocado here.
Yeah, now this is one that we grafted one year for a man, and it's called Plum's Best, PFLUMS, and it's about this big, and it turns purple, but you need to pick it the minute you see it turning purple, and not wait until it gets real purple, or it's too much. But anyway, he had a patent on it, and I put one out here, and I've never, of course, grafted, but this is I've never grafted that variety on anything else. This one is a Mounts, and it still has a papaya, avocado stem. There's 2 or 3 on here that I didn't pick them, and I was hoping that the hurricane wouldn't blow them off, and it didn't, because these will stay on there till March.
There too. So
Yeah, these will
at
stay.
least 4 on here.
But they get the scab just like all the avocados out here. But these are very good. It's a creamy avocado, and the scab looks terrible on them, but it doesn't really
It's just
hurt
on
the
skin,
inside. It doesn't hurt the inside. There's my newly planted little guava trees, and I'm going to put that banana in the ground.
So what kind of guava are they?
They're pink guava. They're just a pink guava, and a lot of people just love those pink guavas, so I'm going to air layer them once they get rooted in and established. This is a Lula avocado, and there's still one on it there. I have picked a few of them, and they would stay on late also, and it's a pretty cold hardy avocado. I've got another one up by the apartment. It's one of my favorites, but they get scabbed pretty bad too.
Yeah, I see you got one over there.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of avocado trees. Was that 7 or 8?
I got a lot of avocados.
So what do you do with all the fruit?
I make guacamole, and I share them with my friends, and I have taken them to the nursery and sold them for them at the nursery. This is one that I just planted this year. That's a lychee. That's a sweetheart lychee. And behind you is sapodilla. That's a tall sapodilla. And it has fruit on it. But the limbs on sapodillas are very, I don't know if they're brittle, but they break real easily. And the raccoons love to get up there and break the limbs trying to get the fruit. They like them as much, if not better, than the mangoes.
Do you make a lot of squirrels happy with your avocados?
Oh, they love them.
Yep.
They love them, but I have so many, and I've got cats that I let out, and they keep them chased pretty good. They chase them off.
Yeah,
pretty
my
good.
dogs chase squirrels. They've never caught one, but they do chase
This
them.
one will chase them too, but he's never caught one either, so that's good. It's small, and it has a nice caliber trunk to it. I don't particularly care for them, but they make a nice plant that sells super well. And when they're yellow, they have a very mild, sweet flavor, very mild. The Guatemalan people like to eat them green. They're more crunchy.
So how old is this?
This tree has got to be, it's probably 15 years old, 12, 15 years old. Yeah, I planted it soon after I moved out here. And I've got
a
an
little
orchid
growing
growing in
there?
it. Oh, I've got orchids growing all over the place here. I've got them in this tree, and none of them are in bloom right this minute, but this tree is full of the philodendron. And there's a cattleya, and then I forget the name of that one, but it's very fragrant at night. But you see all the orchids, and when they're in bloom, they're really, really pretty. I've got all kind. Now this, I'm really hoping that this will fruit. Since we had some cold weather, I am so hoping that it will fruit this year. It had fruit on it when I planted it about 8 years ago, but it's never fruited since. It's bloomed and bloomed, but it's never held any fruit. And it's a sweetheart lychee, and it's a beautiful tree. They make a beautiful tree, and it's happy.
That's gorgeous.
It just hasn't ever given me any fruit, and I love lychees. That's the Barbados cherry. That hasn't been in the ground but maybe a year. And behind it is a curry mango that's on a dwarf fruit stalk, obviously some kind of a sport, because it's never gotten very big. And you see how big the trunk is. Nobody was buying it at the nursery, and I felt sorry for it. I said, I'm going to take it home and plant it and see what happens, because most of the customers that come to the nursery, they want a big, beautiful tree so that their customers will then, buy it. But that wasn't a big, beautiful tree. But it's had fruit on it every single year, so it doesn't really matter. This is a flowering tree, and these are Adamoyas. This is the Lisa Adamoya. It does well out here. And this is a Geffner Adamoya. Has a fruit on it right now. This is a pink mammoth that I planted this year, and it'll come on eventually. It's up here where it'll be happy with the others. And then these are the other avocados. This is Florida Haas, and this one is a Lula. And this Lula, I put 2 7-gallon containers before the hurricane off of that tree, because I didn't want them to just get blown off. This is just a flowering tree that I love. As you can see, I like a little bit of everything, don't I?
Yeah, everything. It looks like a botanical paradise here.
Jungle. This is the noni. This is the noni that I brought. One noni will give you a whole too many noni trees, but it has a pretty leaf to it. It's a medicinal fruit, but it really doesn't taste delicious, even though it's supposed to be good for you. It doesn't taste real good. It tastes like Limburger cheese and smells worse. But one of the fruit, oh my goodness, it'll make a ton of trees. It's just full of little seeds. This is a seedling avocado. I've planted a lot of avocado seeds. Most of them were from a Day and a Florida Haas. Both are cold hardy. And so I planted the cold hardy seeds to see what kind of an avocado I'm gonna have. And this one is growing real tall and upright. A couple of others I have are not as tall. I'm talking about these seedling avocados that are out of cold hardy seeds. And hopefully we'll have another good cold hardy avocado. It's pink inside, so you can make pink lemonade.
Oh, very nice.
And it's variegated, and it got windblown. To say the least, it got windblown. It's bending over that way. It's still yucky here.
So I'm jealous with all of the citrus that I've seen here, because our neighbor brought in a bunch of infected trees, so we had to take all of our citrus out of our place. But you don't have a problem growing it out here?
Well, so far so good. I don't have that much. I put imidacloprid on it every 6 or 8 weeks. And I haven't gotten a lot of fruit off of it. I think this one has a couple of lemons over there I see from here. I just like the variegation of it, and I thought, plant it and see what happens, Now this is a Florida, this is the California Haas avocado. And this is why I don't recommend them here. All of the humidity. Look how tiny these are. They're tiny. Look at how little they are. And it's not gonna, as soon as they get dark, I'll pick them and put them in the house. And then it takes another week or so for them to get ripe, and you still don't have anything. You got like 2 bites out of them, and they're just not happy here with the humidity. And I may do something else. I thought this year they might get a little bigger, and probably if I'd gotten out here and pruned a bunch of them off when they were younger, that they would make a bigger fruit rather than so many little teeny nubbins, you know.
Right.
I'll have to try that. I just was hoping maybe they'd do something. But you can't have an avocado tree like that. Here's some more Monstera deliciosos. This one, yeah, let's see, a varmint's got a nest underneath it. I love the jaboticaba.
Yeah, that's a nice tree there.
Isn't that a pretty tree? It's been in the ground probably 12 years.
12 years
And
and,
it-
it's like 8 feet tall,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, and it fruits twice a year. It'll fruit twice a year. The one I got planted over there is a red jaboticaba, and I got fruit off of it just last week, and I've got them planted in the house on the porch, trying to make some more because they're good. They taste just like the black one though, but it had fruit on it, like I said, just a week ago, and the black one hasn't fruited yet this fall. It did have 2 blooms on it and two sets of fruit.
It's sort of a winter spring thing for me.
Yeah. Now this is another persimmon, and I told you about the little mango back here, the little cherry mango that I felt sorry for. And it had like 6 fruit on it, this little baby. The cherries are just that way.
And Barbados cherry over there?
I'm hoping it'll do better. I think it needs a little bit more fertilizer. I don't fertilize the mangoes a whole lot, and they still do well. The lychee and the Barbados cherry, I think, is going to need a little bit more fertilizer.
So you've got a great place for the horses all around the pond here.
There's about 3 to 4 acres on this side, and then that other acre, a big acre and a half out there. And yeah, I've got a nice 3-stall barn and lots of pasture
Yeah.
for turnout.
Looks like the perfect place for a horse. But so let's see if we covered all of the fruit. I mean, there's so many different fruit trees that it's hard to know where to stop. You obviously have quite a green thumb and enjoy all sorts of plants.
I like to grow things. I do. I like to grow things and nurture things and experiment a little bit and try different things to see how they do at different places.
So has anything surprised you here as far as fruit trees that you've tried and they've been either more successful than you thought they would be or less successful?
No, they've been about consistent with how they are on the East Coast or where you live or where the nursery was, except for there's more anthragnos out here because of it being so humid in the morning. Almost every morning in the summertime it's foggy, and we do have a lot of standing water when we get rain, like we had this past year. We got a lot of rain. But other than that, no, they seem to do well. Everything seems to, the mangoes do well. I think the avocados do as well, if not maybe better. They like it out here.
Yeah, as long as they don't have wet feet for too long.
Oh, they can't have wet feet. They are all planted up, and I've run out of high ground to plant anymore, so I think I'll just stop.
Well, Marlys, thanks very much for showing us all of the fruit trees that you grow that aren't even mangoes. It was a big surprise that you had so many. You've got like a ton of avocados and, you know, papayas and citrus, and you've got the June plum, and what am I missing?
Well, the Jujube and the June plums and the Atamoyas, and it's just fun to grow a lot of different things because mangoes are only in the summertime, whereas you get your avocados and it's a fall, and your papayas come in the wintertime in the fall. The jujubes come late winter and early spring. So I just like to grow a lot of different things, a lot of different fruit trees, so you have some type of fruit. And even the persimmons, they come in the fall, and it's fun to grow a lot of different things.
Yeah, well,
Mangoes are still my favorite.
yeah, well, of course. But yeah, not only does it look great out here, but you know, you've got so many plants working for you. So thanks again
thank you
for showing
coming
us.
out. Thank you very much for coming out. I enjoy my property and what I do out here.